What's up, guys? Ty Wyatt here, and we're here to talk about the Vanford today. It's pretty exciting. Lots of chatter in the worldwide interwebs. Lots of unboxing. This isn't your standard unboxing because we're just going to unbox a 4,000. You know, I've been fishing the 5,000 for about a month, the 3,000 about 3 months. I've caught a lot of fish on this, and not little fish. I've caught quite a few Chinook and coho salmon on it, a few chum salmon, and it's handled really well. But the crux of this unboxing and this discussion is to talk about how the Vanford isn't really the Ci4 Plus successor. And it really isn't a Stradic. And we'll talk about the Stradic a little bit too. But the reality is Shimano felt that the tooling was so different in the Ci4 Plus or the Vanford that it deserved its own name. So, without further ado, let's unbox the 4,000. We'll have all three together. I haven't seen this reel either. I've been really excited to get the 4,000. And we'll talk about the size differences too and what you get here. But so, they are a sexy reel, I tell you. You know, if it wasn't such a great reel, you'd think it'd be all marketing and just the way they look. But listen, guys, these things are pretty incredible. So, some people don't like the black and red. I don't know what to tell them. So, one-piece handle, just like the Stradic FL. And that's probably what we'll go over first. And let's those of you that have been fishing the Stradic FL, it is an excellent reel. This is not a replacement or a successor to the Stradic FL. The Stradic FL is really the powerhouse, workhorse reel in that price range. The big difference between the two, the first thing you're going to notice is the MGL Rotor. The old CR4 Plus had the MGL Rotor. This one's even lighter, a little bit more redesigned. It is a crazy feeling to reel this reel compared to other reels. This, if you were going to ask me what this reel should cost, I would say $400 or $500. But hey, so anyways, here's the 4,000 and the 3,000. Right, you're going to see a significant size change. The 4,000 7.6 ounces. The 3,000 is 6.3 ounces. Let me repeat that. 6.3 ounces. Its predecessor, the Ci4 Plus, was 6.7 ounces. So, to get a 4,000 reel that's 7.6 ounces, it puts it at what the weight of the next size up Stradic would be. So, here's a 4,000 5,000 comparison. The main differences of these two reels is the depth of the spool. Right? The spool diameter is the same on the outside, the depth of the spool, and the handle. These are the main differences on these two, okay? Otherwise, they're pretty much the same. So if you're going to go with a bigger braid, bigger diameter, you're going to go with the 5,000, right? You're going to go with the bigger handle. But, so without further ado, let's go through the features real quick. And I'm going to do shared features first that the Stradic FL and the Vanford have in their design because they do share a gear train, right? They brought down the last generation Stella Micro Module 2 gear train. They have long cast spool. That came out of the Stella technology. So when you start to talk about the differences, though, the differences are the Vanford has a lighter spool, right? It has the MGL rotor. It has the Ci4 Plus body, right? So this is basically a carbon fiber body. And so if I was going to find a disadvantage or the reason I would choose the FL over the Vanford, it would be this is a finesse reel, okay? The Vanford is for finesse applications, right? The Stradic FL is for your torque applications. This is a 5,000 here. Here's a 3,000. get them all lined up here so you can kind of see them. But, so, a lighter spool, MGL rotor on the Ci4 or the Vanford, and a Ci4 Plus body. That's what you're going to see the difference. And the other thing that you really don't see in the specs is the reduction in startup inertia in this reel. It takes absolutely nothing. What this reel reminds me of when you use it is the Essence. And the reason I don't say Stella is because the Stella is a heavier metal body reel, whereas the Essence is a magnesium body reel. It's still a little bit heavier than the Vanford, but it has the same rotor. But the Essence also has a micro module 1, not micro module 2, so it doesn't have the guts that this one does. It has more bearings, but regardless. Well, the bottom line here, guys, is this is the best value on the market. I don't even like to say that, but you know, prove me wrong. Show me 2 better reels on the market for the price range that come with cross carbon drag, MGL rotor, long cast spool. You know, Shimano, the one thing that's really unique about a Shimano spinning reel compared to other brands is the Aero Wrap 2. And when you combine Aero Wrap 2 with the long cast spool, you're going to make longer casts. The reel holds a little bit more line. It wraps the line even evener than a smaller spool. So, other differences, let's see. Okay, so I see a lot of talk about what the difference between the 2500, so that, you know, the Vanford comes in sizes from 500, 1000, 2000, 2500, 3000, 4000, and 5000. Mainly for me, in my world, what matters is the difference between the 2500 and the 3000. And the big difference between the two is the handle length and the gear ratio. So the gear ratio on a 3000 is 6.3. On a 2500, it's 6.0. You get a little bit different handle, and the length of the handle is different. The depth of the spool is also different, but the outside diameter and the size of the spool and the weight of the reel itself are the same. So if you have to make a choice between a 2500 and a 3000, for my world, the better application is the 3000. But for those of you that you want a lower gear ratio for retrieves, even more finesse applications, like drop shotting and things like that, you're going to want the 2500 probably. So, but for me, I'm running braid. The 3000 this fall, I've landed Chinook up to 30 pounds with it. It handles them fantastic, right? So it's pretty awesome. So moving up the 4000, here's the 4000 size, and here's the 5000 size. And it gives you a little bit of difference, you know, some comparison so you can see them together. You can see the diameter of the spool is the same, different handle, different depth of the spool. I've already filled this one. Sorry, guys. And then just for comparison, I've got the Stradics here in front. I still keep the Stradics too. I don't think that the Vanford is an upgrade from the Stradic. I think it's a different application reel. Although I'm going to be honest with you, if I have the Stradic on a rod, the same rod that I have a Vanford on, I'm going to reach for the Vanford every time. And when you're fishing, what the real world difference, what you see with this reel is the very minimal amount of startup inertia. I mean, this thing just starts cranking. Just barely touch it. If you're doing a jigging action, it will do it on its own. It's so light in your hand. There's people that say it doesn't balance the rods. I just don't see it. But either way, the price difference is somewhere, it's about $20 difference between the two. The Vanford's a little bit more. Comes in a black box versus Stradic comes in a white box. Other than that, I just wanted to go over some of those different key differences in the reels, and what you're getting from Shimano is an incredible value, and I still can't believe that they did this, but they did, and it's awesome. We all win. All right, guys. I'm out for today. Fish off.